everybody, Maria here, just with a little YouTube for you on this card here that I have made. I did a sample, similar one in sort of more bluey shades for Lisa for TV, and I thought I would video that one because that seemed to be quite popular. So let's see what we're going to need first of all. Okay, so Lisa's lovely goodies. We're going to need the sunflower garland embossing folder. Okay, this also comes with the dies as well, but we're just going to use the folder for this one. Okay, it's nice to mix things up, isn't it? So we've got the folder there ready, and I'm also going to use a stamp as well, a background stamp. So this is quite a nice one. Again, it's another of Lisa's. So this one is the background collection music sheet. So we're going to use that as well, so we can get some texture in there, if you can see in the background there. Okay, another set of dies that is going to be very, very handy is this one here. So word strips, these are absolutely cool. I'll show you those when we come to those, and then inks and so forth. So I'm going to go back to do a bluey version, so you can see a couple of versions then, can't you? So we're going to use Peacock Feathers Distress, also going to use Black Soot Distress, and just for a little bit of colour over the top I'm going to use some mustard seed distress. It could actually be oxide, it's just that they actually work well together. One will sit over the other quite nicely. Let's see, anything else that we need? Let's pop those to the side. So cardstock, let's have a look. So I prepared a card blank ready. So this is a DL card, and I've put a black mat on already just so we don't have to sort of waste time on that. Let me just show you the measurements of that. So the black is 9.5 centimeters by 20.5, because the card blank itself is 10 by 21. Okay, and then I've cut a piece of stamping card ready, so that goes down another 0.5 centimeter. So that is going to be, should be 9 centimeters by 20, but of course work those measurements out that are relevant to your card blank. Okay, and then just a piece of scrap just for us to do the sentiment on. Okay, so let's make a start on this. So first thing that we need to do is open up the embossing folder, and we're going to ink this. Now if you like very sort of clean crafting and you've just gone into a bit of a meltdown because I've said ink in the embossing folder, don't worry, this cleans up nicely, honestly, it really does. So the side that we want to ink, all right, is the side that is debossed. So it's the side not raised. Okay, this is the raised side, you can feel it, and this is the lower side. You'll only do this wrong the one time, and then you'll sort of figure that out if you do sort of do it wrong. So don't worry about that at all. Okay, so I'm going to go on then with my oxide, and literally I'm just going to rub that across. Now I don't want to press too hard because we don't want to get the ink in too many of the nooks and crannies. What we want, and this is also going to show you how you've got the right side. If you can see that your design is in general is not picking up the ink, then you know that you've got the right side. Okay, right, so just to say, I'm not pressing here, I'm just sort of swiping across. Okay, and we don't need to worry about absolute perfect coverage of the ink either. You know, this is a kind of it's not I suppose it's got a little bit of a grunge to it, but I wouldn't necessarily call it a grungy project, but it's certainly sort of individual. Right, now, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stamp over here with the background stamp. So let's just pop that out of the way for a minute. And I'm using black oxide. Truthfully, it doesn't really matter what black ink you use on here. It's going to be fine because it's just a little bit of extra texture on there. So I'm not looking for absolute perfect crystal clear stamping on this. Okay, so let's bring this back in, and I'm just going to stamp this down onto the folder. Okay, I just get my pressing tool just to give a bit more pressure onto there. Okay, here we go. Just lift that up. All right, so you can see there the design showing through there. Okay, so let's repeat that just to cover the rest of the folder. There we go. Right, and again we're just going to stamp that on. And again, we haven't got to press too hard, because also we don't want to get too much of the texture in the embossed design. It's okay to get a little bit, but the harder you press, the more likely that that is. There you go, that's great. I'm happy with that. Let's put the stamp over there. I'll clean that in a while. So what we can do now is take a piece of card. Now what I would suggest, rather than just plonking it onto here, because if you move it, you're going to move your design, you're going to end up with it smeared. So put your card in that side, all right, and then we can bring that down and close it over like so. All right, so I'm just going to run that through my embossing machine. There we go. Okay, and let's have a little look at what we've got. Oh yes, there you go. Oh, stop the machine making a noise. That's it. So there it is, just as is, and you can see that the embossed design shows up really, really nicely. Okay, but how about adding a little bit more colour, adding some colour into the flowers, which is basically what I've done on this one here. So this is where your stencils come into play. So let's have a look. I've only used a couple of the stencils. Let me show you those. Here we go. So they are the layering stencils, sunflower garland, to go with the die and the embossing folder. So I'm just going to use a couple, there's 6 in there, and I'm just briefly going to use 3 of them. Okay, so let's have a little look here, make sure I get this the right way round. That looks about right. So because this is a kind of a, I suppose, a mixed media look, maybe, would we say that? Possibly. We don't need to worry about perfection, which is great. So I've laid that over, and I'm just literally going to add a little bit of mustard seed distress. Okay, I'm going to have a little look underneath there, and I'm going to make it a bit darker here, because the middle sunflower is kind of above, so it would sort of cast a bit of a shadow, wouldn't it? So we can add that bit of shadow. I say I haven't lined this up particularly well, but that's fine. I have got no problem with that at all, because of the style of the card. Let's have a look. Here we go. And let's pop this one on here like so, and let's go again. And we can keep having a little look to see. That's quite nice. Actually, I like that one a little bit paler, so I'm going to leave that one a little bit paler. Right, and then we're going to come in with this stencil here. Now let's make sure I get this one the right way round. Let's see, so we're going to pop that on there, because what we can do with this stencil, we've not only got the centres of those flowers. Actually, I'm going to give that just a quick little wipe. I'll do the yellow first on there. Bear with me just a second. There we go. That's all it needs. Because what we can do on here, we've got these little bits and they will pull out where these sunflowers are just sort of blooming. They're just about to come to life. So we'll go with some yellow on those before we do the black. Here we go. And these really transform the project as well. Here we go, that's that. And then we're going to go in with a little bit of black. Oh, I didn't get a brush out for black. Bear with me. Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Here we go. Got it. Okay, and let's have a little look at those. Don't want to go too dark on those with it being black instead of brown. There we go, let's have a look. Yeah, that'll do absolutely fine. There we go. So now we've gone to the next level and we've got some beautiful colour in the sunflowers as well. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that for the moment. And what I need to do now is organise our sentiment. I want it to match here, so I'm going to take a spare piece of card, and all I'm going to do is just ink. Here we go, just a couple of little areas with the yellow, and then let's grab peacock feathers as well. There we go. Get a little bit of that in there too. We don't have to worry about being too neat with this. Just blend it across a little bit. It's the colours that we're interested in here. I'm just rubbing that across like so. That'll be absolutely fine. Rightio. Okay, so now what we need is the sentiment. So these are absolutely fab. I love them. So these are the, oh, out you come on, I'm stuck in the corner, that's it. Here we go. So they are the Weird Strips Volume 1, so there's a clue there, there'll be more of those to come, which is really great. So what we have in here, okay, is all of these strips. They've got some lovely wording in there, okay. So, for example, we've got get well soon, special friend just for you, happy birthday, thanks. So there's kind of something for most things there, isn't there? And then also what we've got is these two little dies here at the bottom. So we've got a scallop and a straight edge with a stitch. Now, what I like to do with these is I like to use those as I've done on here, and it's really easy to use those. Let me show you what I've done here. So I've taken a piece of tape. Let me just bring this one out for a moment. Okay, and when I was first putting this sort of together, if you like, what I've done is I've taken piece of tape like so. Okay, so this is the removable tape, and I've taken my my chosen die. So which one am I going to use this time? Let's have a look. Let's go with the thank you again. All right, so I've stuck the thank you down onto the tape, okay, like so. Hope you can see that. And then either side I've popped the other dies. Okay, make sure they don't overlap, make sure they're just nuzzled up nicely. And then the scallop at the bottom, like so. And then that's lasted for ages, and then all I need to do, because the spacing then is exactly right for all of these, so I can just pick this middle one up, take it out and put a different one in, and it's just going to sit there really nicely. Okay, so it's a little tip for you there. Let's just sit those nicely. Right, okay, so let's get this sentiment die cut. So let's have a look here. I'm going to pop that about there, I think. and then I can stick that down, and let's pop that through the machine. Okay, bear with me a second. Just reaching for my plates. Okay. Let's have a little tidy up here. Okay. So when we take this away from here, okay, that is what we have got. Okay, so let's grab my scissors and I'm going to cut this bigger than I need it. It's always good to have more than you need. Right, so we can get rid of that from in there. Okay, and I'm going to leave it big like that for the moment. Okay, we'll put it down in a second. So let's start with a little bit of construction now. So I'm going to take my tape away from here, and we'll get this lovely piece in place. Right, let's have a little look and which way around. I'm going to go that way. I'm quite happy with it that way. So I'm going to attempt to get it straight. Straight is not my forte, I have to say. Right, here we go. That's straightish. I'm going to press that there, and then I can take all those tape pieces away. Here we go. Right, that's where we're up to. So let's get this on. Now at the moment that's quite pen, it's not really standing out ever so well. So this is where it's really handy just to have a little spare piece of black card. Okay, and I'm going to take my glue, and on this I'm just going to glue the top edge and the bottom edge, just the off you get for a minute. That's it. Okay, I don't really need to go into all of those letters because the top and the bottom edge is going to keep that in place nicely. Okay, right, so let's pop this onto here, and only want a really small border on here. We don't want this taking up too much, covering up too much of the design. Here we go. Okay, give that a press down. Let's just chop it roughly for the moment. I just need to get my trimmer so I get a nice straight edge. There we go. And as I say, I just want a really small amount here. Just bear with me a second. Oh. Right, I think that should be okay. Let's have a look. Yeah, that'll do just fine. Okay, let's get rid of the trimmer. Okay, and then we can come into our project. That's great. Okay, so let's get some more glue on here. So let's see where I'm actually going to pop this, and I'll put the glue on the card rather than the sentiment. So just around here, just above that line here. There we go. Come on, glue, don't fail me. There we go. That's a lot of glue, that. Let me just spread that out a little bit. There we go. That's better. Right, and then I can come in here and just have a little look and get that nice and central. Go down a little bit there so it doesn't cover the lovely sunflowers. Give that a little press for a second, and then I'm going to trim. Just putting the lid back in my glue. Here we go. So I'm going to turn that over and trim it from behind. Like so, and There we go. Can you hear my doggy barking? Oh, she's not even in the room. There we go, noisy girl. There we are. How's that? Job done. 20-minute card, something nice and different. So I hope you'll be brave and have a little go with that. As I say, your embossing folders will clean up lovely, I promise. Just a little bit of soap and water and you'll be absolutely fine. Let's have a look. So we've got two versions there. Here we are. I hope you enjoyed that and I hope to see you again soon. Okay, take care for now. Bye.